everyone and welcome to my craft room. I'm Leo from inkymemories.co.uk, an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in South Wales, and as you can see I have just had a delivery from the Brown Van Man. UPS guy has just dropped this off, and I just wanted to do a very quick look at some of the new products that I got, show you some of the things, as well as the Designer Series paper that I got in the Designer Series paper sale. So let me bring you in a little bit closer and we shall have a look at what we got this time around. So this is what we've got going on inside that lovely brown box. So the first thing that I have here, something I've been meaning to order so many times and kept forgetting to add, was the foam adhesive sheets. Now these are basically double-sided adhesive sheets with foam in the middle. They're very similar to our Stampin' Dimensionals, the sort of pre-cut 3D foam pads, but these are uncut. So the idea is that you stick a piece of cardstock to one side of the adhesive, run it through your die cutting machine, and then when your die cuts come out, they already have foam pads on the back ready to go straight onto your project, so really handy. I've also picked up the magnetic cutting plate for my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Now this is a little bit different to the magnetic platform that we had previously, in that the whole surface of this is magnetic. So whereas before the surface was covered in small magnets, and sometimes that pulled your dies around, if you didn't position them quite right, they sort of jumped between the magnets. This is all magnetic, so you can put your dies anywhere on here and they won't move. And this also has a self-healing surface. So this plate actually replaces one of your clear cutting plates, your plate 3, in your die cutting sandwich. And I'll be using this on lots of Workshop Wednesday videos going forward, so you'll definitely see that in action very soon. I picked up some of these clear acetate card boxes. Now these are sized specifically for our 3" by 3" mini envelopes that we carry, and I have a project in mind for these that's going to be coming up very soon, so I'm glad they've arrived nice and quickly, ready for me to get that filmed. So I'm going to be doing a little card box with a bunch of mini cards inside, so look out for that. I also picked up some new ribbon. This is the Playful Pets Trim Combo Pack. As you can see, this comes with 2 spools of trim on this one. So you have a black and white baker's twine on here, and then this really fine red ribbon with this gorgeous white stitching embellishment across the middle, which is on both sides. So it's a really nice little trim to use on lots of different things. The next thing I got then was a lot of different embellishments. My embellishment box is starting to look a little empty, so it's time to do a little bit of a stock up and get some new choices. So I've picked up the Frosted and Clear epoxy droplets. So as this says, these are clear, so one set is clear, one set is slightly frosted, but they don't have any colour to them. So this means that you can use them on a bunch of different coloured backgrounds, and they're going to work with any project that you want to pop them onto. They're quite chunky, as you can see, and there are 3 different sizes on there. The other things that I got then were some of these adhesive backed sequins, and these are from the Artistry Blooms suite. Now there's 4 sheets in here that each have sort of a different background colour, but they all have this gorgeous iridescence over the surface of them, and I'm looking forward to using those. Again, I have a project in mind for these, so they will be coming up very soon. And then I picked up these gold glitter enamel dots. So these are very similar to the ones that we have in the August to December catalogue. I want to say they're the wonderful enamel shapes or wonderful enamel dots, something along those lines. So those are red and clear dots with glitter encased in them. And these have a gold background, but they also have the glitter encased in the resin on there. So hopefully you can see some of that in there. But these are just really pretty little accents. Definitely going to be using these on some Christmas cards coming up very soon. I also picked up the Sprig Punch. And this is something I've been meaning to pick up for a long time at this point and just kept forgetting to add it to my order. This is really lovely just for adding some accent to the backgrounds when you're adding sort of tags and banners onto the front of projects. You can just add some sprigs of coloured cardstock or vellum in the background. It's just a really nice way to add a little bit of flair and detail to that. Now the next few things that I have here are pretty much paper, stamps and dies and things. So I'm going to grab all of this out of the box and then we shall go through this in a little bit more detail. Okay, so I picked up a couple of packs of coloured cardstock. I tend to buy cardstock in the multi-packs that it comes in, so by colour family. So I've got one of the 2020 to 2022 in colour packs, so that's all the 5 colours from that in colour stack there. And this is a brights stack, and you get 2 sheets of each colour in this particular colour pack. In the in colour packs you get 4 sheets of each colour, just because there's less colours in those. And this is just a really great way of stocking up. I use a lot of different cardstock for different projects. I tend not to buy the single colour packs unless I am making a large number of cards with a single colour base, for example. So sometimes when I'm making Christmas cards, if I know I'm going to be using, say, a shaded spruce base for a bunch of different Christmas cards, I'll buy a single colour pack, but generally I do buy them in the multicolour assortments. And then here is the big thing, the designer series paper that I picked up in the designer series paper sale. And I'm going to show you these a little bit more in depth so you can actually see some of the gorgeous patterns that are in each of these stacks. So this first one is the Artistry Blooms designer series paper. And this one is in the annual catalogue. Let's have a look on the back. It should go through the colours that are in this. So we have in here Bermuda Bay, Calypso Coral, Coastal Cabana, Daffodil Delight, Garden Green, Gorgeous Grape, Granny Apple Green, Magenta Madness, Mango Melody, Melon Mambo, Night of Navy and Whisper White. So like I said, there's a lot of colours represented in this paper stack. And the actual sort of designs on this, I think it's like acrylic painting, I would say, or oil painting perhaps. And it's all double-sided, as is most designer series paper. So I'll go through some of the designs that are in here for you. So you get 2 sheets of each design. So this is the first one. And that's the back of that. So it's really beautiful gradient that really kind of looks like rain falling down on that as well. So it's a really lovely colour palette on that one. And this is the second one there. So this almost looks like at first glance it kind of looked like a Chinese lantern to me, but it is just a little series of lines and dots on there on a beautiful ombre piece of paper. And then the other side is this gorgeous blue gradient with what almost looks like corrugated texture on it. Really pretty designer series paper again. The next one then has that same little line and dot design, just in a much smaller print on this gorgeous green and yellow patterned paper. And the other side then is another beautiful sort of ink splotch in shades of purple and pink on that one. And we have another sort of almost acrylic painting type design. Or I guess it could be a leopard spot if that's how you see it. I think a lot of these are sort of open to interpretation. So again, lots of pinks and purples on that one. And then the reverse side is another one of those corrugated looking texture ombres, this time in pink and orange and yellow. And we have another brushstroke looking design. Again, pinks and oranges and yellows and some white on that one. And it has like a crackle effect over the top of it as well, or like distressed paint. And then we have another gorgeous ombre on there, so greens and some yellows on the edges. And again, this has that sort of cracked paint effect to it in the background. There's a lot of texture in these papers as well as all of their really bright colours. The last ones then is some more of the brushstroke type design in greens and blues. And then the reverse side of that one is that gorgeous sort of pink and orange ombre with that cracked paint sort of effect on it. So all in all, this is a really lovely set of papers. Like I said, lots of really gorgeous bright colours in this one, and really nice for using in the back of projects, sort of on the card fronts and so on. Lots of different colour and texture going on in that stack. So that was the Artistry Blooms designer series paper. We then have the one I've been really looking forward to getting. This is the In Good Taste Designer Series paper. Now this is a slightly bigger stack, which you can probably see by the weight of it. This one is actually 24 sheets in this one, whereas standard DSP stacks are just 12 sheets. This is double the size. This is a 12 sheet for the Artistry Blooms. So In Good Taste is double the size. And it just is full of so much texture predominantly. So the colours in this one, we have Basic Grey, Early Espresso, Grey Granite, Night of Navy, Petal Pink, Rococo Rose, Smoky Slate, Very Vanilla and Whisper White. And again, I'm just going to hack this open so we can have a look at the designs on some of these papers. If I can get into this. There we go. Okay, let's pull this all out. So this first one, as you can see, is a gorgeous wood plank design. Now these are photo on the front side. So this is a photograph of this texture on the front side. And then the reverse side is this gorgeous sort of hexagon marble tile design. And again, that's photorealistic on there, but the papers, it's just a normal flat paper. The paper itself isn't textured. They just have lots of photos of different types of textures on them. The next one then is this lovely sort of Hessian fabric in a really deep brown with sort of threads of yellow running through that one. And then on the reverse, we have another brick or tile design. I would say this one's probably a small tile looking at it. Again, lots of sort of neutral tones and textures on that one. The next paper then is another wood grain. So this is some really nice dark wood planks on this one. And the reverse is a paint texture. So sort of, I want to say this would be an oil on canvas or acrylic on canvas perhaps. So you've got some shades of pink and then white in there and a couple of splotches of grey as well. And you can really see the texture of the canvas coming through in the background as well. Another wood texture on the next one then, some wider, less dark planks on this one. And the reverse side is this gorgeous navy and white tile. Really pretty. I'd like tiles like that on the floor, I think they're gorgeous. Now this is a really nice one. This is a concrete texture. So nice and flat, there's no additional lines in this, it is just one straight piece. And on the reverse we have a really tiny fine tile in sort of greys and whites and a little bit of sort of beigeier colours coming in as well. Another wood texture here, lots of really pretty grain patterns in this one. And then another fabric on the background. The next one then looks like it is another fabric. This almost looks like, what do they call them, like minky blankets, the really soft baby blankets that you can get in a nice soft pink. And then on the reverse we've got these very pretty wavy sort of white and almost pearlescent tiles on there. Another paint looking one here. This time it's sort of white and beige paint colours. Again on canvas, you've got that canvas texture in the background as well as the texture from the paint itself. And the reverse of that are small tiles. These almost look like a wood grain type effect on the tile on that one. Here is another paint effect, so this one in navy and white. And on the reverse we've got another chevron or herringbone tile. Some more wood grain, this time a really blonde wood in fine planks. And the reverse is a really fine fabric pattern. It's another fabric, this time a much darker blue toned fabric. And the reverse is a navy and white tile design. And then finally we have a really blonde wood. Nice wood grain texture in that one again. And the reverse is another tile design. Lots and lots of texture in that one. So these are really gorgeous. I can't wait to use these. They're going to be great for some card backgrounds that I have some ideas for already. And a lot of these are very sort of neutral. There's a lot of neutral colours in there, and definitely something that you can use for more masculine projects. So a lot of our papers can lean quite feminine, sort of, you know, floral designs and things, and having something a bit more neutral is a great way of making more masculine cards, but also cards for occasions where perhaps you don't want bright colours or florals. The last stack that I got then is the Heartwarming Hugs Designer Series paper. So just a couple of colours in this one. It is a Christmas paper, so as we would expect, we've got greens and reds. We've got Mossy Meadow, Pear Pizzazz and Real Red in this one, along with Whisper White. And I have a Christmas card coming up that I just needed a designer series paper for that was really festive but not overly festive, and this stack just seemed the right choice to me. So again, I'm going to cut this open and we can have a look at the individual designs on each of the sheets a little bit closer. And what I liked about the stack of paper in this particular set was the fact that even though they're in Christmassy colours, they're not overtly Christmassy, and I'll show you what I mean. So there are no real Christmas motifs on this. There are no sort of snowflakes or Christmas trees or presents or anything like that. It is just all patterns and designs. So as you can see, a fairly geometric looking pattern with predominantly red, little accents of green on that one. And then you've got this cute little design on the back again in those greens and reds. And we've got a predominantly green design on this one, just with those little red dots in the middle. And then just some plain red and white stripes, and that's really making my eyes go funny looking at that. Another predominantly green sheet, this one. Little sort of diamonds of colour over the front, and the reverse is a gorgeous green gingham. And then we go back to a more red leaning sheet with this sort of pattern of dots and crosses. And the reverse is just some green and red and white stripes. There's another more green leaning one, just with some different shades of green and dots on there. And then this fun sort of tartan or plaid or plaid pattern in the background, with red and green and white. And then these gorgeous wide stripes. I love this one. Very fun. And the reverse of that is a houndstooth. So as you can see, even though they're in Christmassy colours, not especially Christmassy, no Christmas trees, no presents, no snowflakes, no reindeer, nothing like that. Just some nice Christmassy colours that you can use to accent any type of project that you want to do, but also not for Christmas as well. You could absolutely use these outside of the Christmas season. So that was the designer series paper that I got in the DSP sale. And just a reminder, it's on a number of different packs of DSP at the moment. So a lot of them have 15% off. I will pop a link in the description box for you directly to that section on my website, so you can have a look at all of the different DSPs that are in that sale. Make sure you grab some. The sale ends on the 31st of October, so you do have time. Add them to your order and make sure you stock up on your DSP for all your projects coming up. Now this one is something I've been very much looking forward to using. This is the brushed metallic cardstock. And very similar to our foil sheets that we have in a range of different foils. So we've got gold, silver, champagne, pretty sure we've got copper as well. So lots of different metal tones, but these are actually sort of a more brushed, slightly textured surface on these. And they come in 3 shades. So you have a sort of champagne, kind of a darker one, I guess, a more of a coppery tone, and then a gold tone as well. And you can see they have this gorgeous brushed effect on them, and I hope that I can pick this up with enough light for the camera to see them. It's a slightly different texture to using the standard foil sheets. They're not quite as shiny, I guess. You know, they have that sort of more brushed matte look to them while still being obviously foil, so they do have a shine all of their own. But yes, again, some Christmas projects coming up, and also some not Christmas projects with these. Lots of different things that you could do with this gorgeous foil cardstock. Okay, now on to some embossing folders that I picked up. Something that I don't have a lot of. I don't use them very often, but when I do, it's nice to have some sort of old faithfuls to reach for. And these two literally just are for adding textures. This is the Subtle. This is a 3D embossing folder, and it literally just adds a very fine sort of texture to your cards and your cardstock that you run it through. You can also run DSP through with an embossing folder if you wanted to add some texture on top of the sort of pattern that's on your DSP. So yeah, it's just a really fine well, as it says, subtle texture on this one. Nothing too over the top, and really looking forward to using that one. And this is called the Old World Paper Embossing Folder. So it literally just looks like you've screwed up and then straightened out a sheet of paper. A really nice texture to add a little bit of sort of something to the background of projects. So look out for these on some videos soon. And then I also picked up the Basic Pattern decorative masks. So these are just plastic masks with a couple of different designs on them that you can use in so many different ways on your projects. So you have this kind of pattern here. You've got some straight dots, this really gorgeous sort of swirl, and then woodland type design. Now some of the things you can do with these, you can absolutely sponge ink through them. So I did do a video recently, I'll pop a card up on there for you, of colouring techniques using sponges, and you can absolutely sponge colour through these masks onto a background to add again a different kind of design into the background of your projects. One of the things I'm most looking forward to, and the reason I got them, was for using with embossing paste, which is a sort of very thick paste that you can add to the front of projects. It dries hard. I actually have a shimmery version which we'll be using very soon. As it says on here, you can actually spritz ink through them as well, so using the Stampin' Spritz bottles like this. I have this one mixed up with some ink and alcohol in shaded spruce. You just lay your mask down, spritz the ink through it to get the ink pattern in the design that you want. You can actually trace through them if you wanted to, you know, just with a pencil, tracing through the design. It also suggests on here embossing, so using Versamark ink and embossing powder, you can emboss through them and get that sort of look in the background of your project. So lots of different things, and I have a couple of projects coming up that are going to need these, which is why I've picked them up. And then this bundle, this little chunk of things here, is actually a brand new product that is not currently in any catalogues. This is actually a product that is releasing in our next catalogue, so January to June. We're already looking ahead, and this is a bundle. So sort of two parts of this. This is the first part. So this is what's going to be in the next catalogue, the January to June catalogue. This is the Curvy Celebrations bundle. So you get this gorgeous stamp set, the quite curvy stamp set, and the curvy dies that go along with it. And these make some really lovely card designs. I've already seen quite a few of my demonstrator friends using this. They got their shipping a little bit quicker than I did. And I've seen some gorgeous projects. So as you can see, these dies cut these lovely curves, but they also have texture on the edge of them. So again, don't know if you can see, have this sort of ivy or leaf design in here. They also have it miniaturized with this ivy sort of curve in a die that also embosses the little leaf centers, the sort of stems into the centers of those leaves. And I think it embosses these swirls. Let me see if I can pull this a bit closer. So it die cuts the actual leaf part here, but then the other sort of swirls that you can see are actually flat, so they would just be embossed onto the front of your cardstock. I'll see if I can get some demos of this done and up on my blog so you can have a look at those. I'll pop a link in the description below so you can check that out. But you also have then dies to cut things out. So you'll notice we've got these little birds down the side, and there are dies to cut all of those out. This swag, there is a die to cut that, as well as this one. And then this little sprig here, we've got a die for that. And then this is just an additional spray that you can die cut out and add to the background, as well as these beautiful curves. And then the stamp set itself, as you can see, is designed to be used with those curves. So all of the sentiments pretty much are curved. These two are not. And then the second part of this, now we're releasing this early. This is going to be available from November 1st. So this is the bundle that will be in the catalogue next year, the Curvy Celebrations. But you can pre-order this as of the 1st of November. And to go along with it, Stampin' Up have designed a Christmas version of the stamp set. So again, using those lovely curves that come with the dies. So you've got a couple of sentiments in there, this gorgeous star sort of banner that I absolutely love, and these little pine trees on a snowy hill, and then some other embellishments and details on there. And there is also a designer series paper stack that comes as part of the bundle. Now these two products are not going to be available other than during the pre-order that starts on the 1st of November, ready for all of your Christmas celebrations. So make sure if this is something that you want, that you do add it to an order. I will pop the details below so you can have a closer look at the products. And as soon as they're available, I shall list that on my blog and on Facebook and everywhere, so you can go and grab them quickly. And this DSP is just so adorable. Lots of very cute little designs in here. Just 3 colours. So this is Cherry Cobbler, Sahara Sand and Shaded Spruce with Whisper White. So you've got this sort of check design. These little almost mistletoe looking leaves. These cute little dots. And then on the reverse side, we've got this almost holly sort of design, some fun little stars and some stripes, and then the Christmas trees as well with this geometric dot and stripe pattern on the background. So lots and lots of sheets in this stack, as you can see, all in these 3 colours, and this is only available during that sort of pre-order session. So I will be advertising this a little bit more closer to the time once it's available, but I just wanted to show it off real quick on camera so you could see what it looked like, and start designing some cards perhaps in your head of how you could use this. Quite a big bundle, as you can see. There were a lot of products that I needed for some upcoming projects that are going to be coming onto my channel soon, so look out for those. I hope you've enjoyed this sneak peek through my recent order. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.